It would feel like the ocean. You can't see to the other side. It has waves. I mean, it's a big open kind of open all around you, and the only difference is it doesn't smell like salt. So I'm all for it. I'm excited about it, and but I'll be with you guys for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I wonder if I don't know the house that we're going to be in has one of those balconies that I've done a show from before, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll invade that place Sunday and get it going. All right, and over this weekend, baseball. Well, baseball kind of takes center stage in a way. Got to say, like this All-Star game. I know the All-Star game is early next week, but it didn't seem to have all that much cachet. A lot of
buzz. Not a lot of people talking about it.
Not too much. Usually, it's about the stars that are there.
Does
so
it
many
still,
of the stars are hurt and won't be playing.
And it still means something, right? It's still weighted?
No, it means nothing.
Okay.
They took away the home field advantage thing from the All-Star game. I think that was 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
I hated that whole
That was
idea.
weird. Didn't make sense at all.
Well, and now you're at for a long time, the All-Star game meant something to the combatants because there was a real American League and National League rivalry. Like, you don't have rivalries as far as conferences go in the NBA or the NFL or even in the NHL, but there used to be in a lot of cases. But it all started with Major League Baseball, American League versus National League. That was a thing for over 115 years, really, before they tried to figure out a way to give the All-Star game a little bit of juice after that tie game. About
Bud
16 years
ago? Was
that
Bud Selig's finest hour?
It was one of the worst hours, I thought. Having a tie game of the All-Star game and then trying to force, weighting the home field advantage of the World Series based upon the outcome of the All-Star game. It was a joke. And look, now there literally is no difference between the leagues, none. And I was all for the National League adopting the designated hitter, but once that happened, there's no difference between the two leagues. And I think that's one reason why there really isn't that much buzz around it. You don't really know who to root for. Some people still view themselves as National League people and American League people, and maybe you root for the league that your team plays in. And I used to do that, but I think it's a difficult thing to view it. What's more exciting is kind of like the home run derby, which is sometimes, depending on the combatants, is a must-watch thing, even for people that aren't big baseball fans. And they set the home run derby. They got a pretty good one, in fact. And keep in mind, you don't have to be an all-star to be in the home run derby. If Pete Alonso is in the derby, it's probably worth watching anyway, because that's a guy who was built for it. Kind of like when Josh Hamilton, for 3 years there, just was amazing to watch in that derby. And then really kind of struggled after I don't remember how many he hit in a row, 24, 25 in a row, and then struggled badly for the second half of the season.
I thought it was pretty cool the year that Bryce Harper's pops pitched to him and he won the home run derby. That was pretty cool.
I thought that was cool too.
Yeah.
You do get to choose your own pitcher.
when Griffey had his hat backwards out, and this is in the 90s now, he gets in the batting box in the All-Star game, and I was a big-time Griffey fan. And then you hear all the rumblings like, he should turn his hat around. It's like, bro, it's an All-Star game in the home run contest. Get over it.
That was like a statement.
Oh,
Not just a fashion statement. It was a statement of some sort.
Get over it.
Now, turning your hat around backwards would be pretty mild compared to some of the bat flips and celebrations. Yeah. But maybe that's one thing baseball could do that they don't do is a skills competition of some sort. The NFL,
bunt challenge they do in the Japanese All-Star game.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Well, bunting is a major part of Japanese baseball. It hasn't been a major part of American baseball in a long time. But I'll tell you, I don't know, a lot of people in the United States will be all fired up about watching guys drop bunts down 5 feet away, but I would.
In the hockey All-Star game where they set the bullseyes up at the corners of the net and they do the slap shots, how could you make it to where you put a big ring out there in right field, center field, left field that have points, and they hit it into. It would have to be a 20-foot range. It would have to be a bigger target, but they could hit. I mean, that's something to do.
I would be all about watching, who has the strongest outfield arm or the best accuracy on the infield.
Oh my goodness, throwing them from right field, second base to third base, catching it and tagging at the time and doing that would be sick right there.
And races.
That's athleticism. That's your superstar. That's what you want. You need more stars, more athletes in baseball, not just strikeouts and home runs.
We have a 100-yard dash. I mean, something like that with guys that are stealing bases. If we're reintroducing the game, the speed back into the game, well, let's show a little bit of that on All-Star Weekend. Well, I guess you got to worry about some guys getting hurt. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing you never want to happen at an All-Star game. You don't want one of those Pete Rose crashing into Ray Fosse moments, which derailed, but was an All-Star career.
Did he get suspended like Will Smith did when he went and slapped Chris Rock and he got suspended for 10 years? Said, hey, man, you got to chill out.
Well, that was a much different era of baseball. What was that, 1972? You were almost expected to run a catcher.
I don't even know if I
might
have been thought of by 82, yeah.
But that's also that shows you what the game meant then, what that game meant in that year. Again, I think that was 1972.
Oh, 72.
When Pete Rose, who never played a game for an American League franchise, bowled over Oakland A's catcher Ray Fosse and broke a rib. Fosse didn't know he'd broken ribs until I think afterwards. It was way after that. He actually kept playing, and he wasn't as good afterwards. But, yeah, that shows you what the All-Star game used to mean. It doesn't mean anything like that any longer. In fact, one of the other moments that stands out was a celebration of a great play by Arkansan Torrey Hunter. Remember when he robbed Barry Bonds?
Yes,
of the home
and
run?
he went out there and hugged him, yeah.
And then Bonds walks him off, picks him up and carries him off the field.
What a tremendous athlete. Arkansas's own, man. Torrey Hunter. I think he played with Basilja Paz at the same. Oh, my goodness. That high school team, I'm surprised if they lost. That'd be like Randy Moss and Jason Williams played on the same high school team,
It's craziness. Halftime on a Friday. I'm cutting out a little early in hour number 3. Neil Atkinson will join us from Bet Saracen and Aaron Torres in just a moment. Hey, next week, Tuesday, we're getting the Football Trip of a Lifetime contest started thanks to Hardee's at the 1820 Phoenix Avenue location in Fort Smith. There'll be another contest on Thursday, July 13th at the 2720 Rogers Avenue location. This lunch qualifiers, you got to eat a third-pound Angus thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and you're entered for a chance to win your football trip of a lifetime to see the Chiefs take on the Eagles at Arrowhead Stadium on November the 20th. So that is next week, Tuesday and Thursday at 1820 Phoenix Avenue location, Tuesday, 2720 Rogers Avenue location, Thursday. Either of those Hardee's locations, down a thick burger, 90 seconds or less, have a chance to win a football trip of lifetime thanks to Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. We're talking with Aaron Torres after this on Halftime.
He's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. He also is brilliant. He's a great student. Last week he got his MBA. The guy is just what college football is all about.
I've been called everything. Clark Kent, Kurt Rambis, Drew Carey, you name it, I've been called it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Would you like to cut your utility bills without cutting comfort? Stay cool and save while enjoying the reliability and efficiency of a new Luxair HVAC system. Have your contractor call J&B Supply to hook you up with a Luxair system perfectly suited for your home. Luxair provides optimal comfort, energy savings, and lasting performance. J&B Supply, where the professionals go for all their HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs since 1968. J&B Supply with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and VV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Everybody's life is a journey, their own personal adventure, where every direction has a new trail to explore. Sometimes a little rough, sometimes a little muddy, but always exciting. So no matter which way you go, know this: that trail you're on is far too short to compromise.
Your next adventure starts at AutofindersOK.com.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is making the middle of the week something to look forward to. Wednesdays is Nacho Average Wednesday. Get $1 off all nachos every Wednesday and try the all-new ballpark-style pork nachos. And draft or bottled beers are $1 off. Every Thursday is Throwback Thursday. Enjoy some of the old Cuco's classic platters, just the way you remember them. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Looking for a piece of equipment? Head on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore their latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer and Cinnabogan authorized service provider. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need complete, at Sharp Equipment, they help you move more than just the world. They help you move forward. From excavators to powerful skid steers, Sharps can find the right equipment for your needs. See Sharp Equipment located in Central Hydraulic at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or call 479-242-1406.
Tommy Smith for Bet Saracen.
Hey, if you're like me and enjoy putting a little something on your favorite sporting event, then get Bet Saracen. Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. Download the app or go to BetSaracen.com. Oh, and by the way, I finally upgraded my 20-year-old flip phone so I can actually play too.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey River Valley, this is Caleb DeWitt with Carco Auto Sales. As many of you know, parts of Fort Smith and Van Buren were recently affected by a hailstorm, and our lot was no exception. Our inventory may have received minor hail damage, but with that comes major discounts. Choose from late model cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, all with thousands off the original price tag. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith or visit us online at www.buyfromcarco.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, Aaron Torres Media, and Fox Sports Radio joining us on Halftime for a Friday morning. AT, good morning, man. What's up?
You know, Phil, I mean, I got to ask, how did it go? You know, you had the dream, and you were mortified by it. The idea of having 4 days off without having anything to do. Did you survive? Are you okay? What did you do? I need to know.
Hung out, did a little eating, a little drinking, a little swimming, sitting around.
There you go.
A little binging.
Those are all the best things.
they were days taken off, which, again, this is not anything I'm very good at, but I tried. Here's the thing, though. If you are Matt, you're right about this, too, I think. If you are trying to chill, you need lessons on how to chill.
I took a nap every week.
I also What was that, Matt?
I was going to say, I took a nap on Saturday and Sunday. It was amazing. It was
Look
good
at you.
times
Look
off,
at
man.
you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do
Best
it.
life type of
That's
things.
I absolutely don't know how to do
Yeah,
it. Meanwhile, you were working all week, AT. You didn't have a day off at all.
No, I actually, believe it or not, I had the 4th off. It was the first time in a while that I've had the 4th off. We didn't go to the beach, even though I promised on halftime last week that we would. But so I actually agree with you guys. I'm very much type A, get up and get stuff done. And what I've realized is I'm okay if I plan activities to not do anything. In other words, as you said, drink, go to the pool, whatever. But when I wake up without an agenda, then that becomes, one, a little stir crazy, but then two, you just start doing stuff around the house that you're not supposed to be doing, like work and chores and stuff like that. And so I think that is the lesson that I learned on this 4-day weekend is, okay, today the plan is we're going to the pool. Today the plan is it's the 4th, we're grilling at some point and we can chill till then. Today we're going to go, out for a long lunch and stay out for whatever. Like, it's like that was my lesson was like, if, even on my days off, I have to plan, like I have to put something on the schedule to relax. Otherwise, I'm going to start getting stir crazy around the house. So that was my 4th of July lesson.
Some people are really good about it, man. Some people are not. I guess the Big 12 coaches and media members did some voting over the holiday weekend because the preseason poll for the Big 12 came out. I think this is the first of any of the leagues that has done this. And it can only be that can only mean that media days are right around the corner. And look at that. Texas has been chosen to win their final year in the Big 12. 41 first-place votes. Kansas State second. Man, we get a caller calls in the last couple of days. Brian, big Texas fan. He says he thinks this is the year that they really take that big leap forward and Texas is back. But then again, we've been hearing that phrase for quite a while. Why should we believe that Texas would actually be back?
I'm with you. I think the reason we should believe, is they're really talented. And, obviously I'm ramping up my prep work as well. Like, listen, they're the most talented team in that league. And, oh, by the way, the team that has been a top forever, Oklahoma, is going through some stuff. So, in theory, I get it. I guess two things. One, Texas is basically always the most talented team in that league. That's nothing new. And then two, I was thinking about this, guys, is inherently when you pick a team to do something really good, obviously, in general, you trust either the coach or the quarterback, right? Even college isn't as much of an NFL-centric game as the pros, whatever. But my whole thing is, and maybe it's because I live on the West Coast, Steve Sarkisian, I'm not rooting against the guy. He's been through all sorts of personal turmoil and has come out on the other side, and I'm happy to see him coach at the highest level again. This guy's been a head coach for 9 years at the Division I level, has a grand total of 1 9-win season in 9 years as a Division I head coach. And it's not like he started at, Bethune-Cookman or something. He started at Washington. Now, admittedly, that program was in kind of a downswing when he took over, but was at Washington a year and a half at USC, and now it's year 4 at Texas, year 3 at Texas, I guess. And it's like, I get it, but it's like what has Sark done to make us believe? And, oh, by the way, if you go back and look at last year's results, it was a lot of the same Sark stuff. They build a big lead, and then they fall apart in the second half. And then, oh, by the way, the other thing, too, is the Quinn Ewers factors. I think everybody watched Quinn Ewers in that game against Alabama. Oh, he's awesome. Oh, he's amazing. Go ahead and look at his final season stats. And I know he was banged up for part of the year, whatever. 58% completion percentage, 15 touchdowns. That doesn't scream to me overwhelming favorite in any conference, especially in the power conference. And so, I can't sit here today and say I definitively feel better about it as someone else. But it's just like you said, Phil, the hype continues. And at some point, I actually got to see some results that are tangible.
Yeah, and they have the best safety in the country if he's healthy in Catalan. He's a kid from Arkansas that kind of it was hurt a little bit. But if he's healthy, that he'll be all right. Aaron, I wanted to ask you a little bit about San Diego State And are they going to stay in the Mountain West?
Wild
and
story.
yeah, what's going on with that?
You know, it's basically, I think, a pretty public game of chicken. So I'll say this. I'll even go back to the week of the Final Four. At the Final Four, or around that time, I don't know if it was maybe a few days before, a few days after, whatever, the San Diego State AD, I thought, did something that I was very surprised by. Is he just started openly talking about, you know, we believe we're ready to take the move to the Power Five, and whenever that happens, we'll be ready to go. And I bring it up because, like, yeah, I think everyone in life strives to get to the next level, whether it's in athletics, it's in your job, it's in my job, it's in whoever. But he was openly talking about, yeah, if we get that invite, we're gone. And it was interesting because the Mountain West commissioner at the time basically acknowledged, yeah, we're going to be moving on without them. And so why I bring it up is because what has happened is that the Pac-12, and again, I live on the West Coast here, so maybe I'm paying a little bit closer attention. This Pac-12 media deal is just not coming together. And you know, every you know, month we're told it's a week or two away. You know, I've heard it's a week or two away for probably about, you know, 9 months now. And so what ended up happening was basically San Diego State had until June 30th to get out of the Mountain West, officially let the Mountain West know they're leaving. And after June 30th, their exit fee doubled to $34 million. So they, about 3 weeks ago, asked for an extension on that date of June 30th. The Mountain West naturally told them to kick rocks and basically said, this letter, we're accepting your resignation. And so it kind of became this thing where, like, San Diego State was like, no, we're not resigning. And the Mountain West was like, well, you're not really welcome back here. And so right now, this second, like, San Diego State kind of got kicked out of the Mountain West. And so it wouldn't be for this coming season, but it would be for 2024, 2025, the same year Texas and Oklahoma go to the SEC. And it could work one of two ways, in my opinion. Either one, San Diego State's going to have to make some sort of long-term commitment to the Mountain West to come back, or two, you know, the Pac-12's got to get their house in order very quickly here. But I'll just say, as somebody who lives out here, you know, I know a lot of people who cover the league pretty much on a daily basis. I don't know what that contract is going to be, but nobody seems to have confidence that it's going to be anything on par with forget what the Big Ten and the SEC got. You know, I don't think there's people that have very much confidence that it's going to be on par with what the Big 12 got about a year ago. So it's a fascinating thing. But from the San Diego State perspective, they essentially got booted out of the Mountain West a few days ago. Now, I don't think it's going to come to that result, but now there's definitely some finagling and schmoozing that's got to be done for them to figure out their future.
Our guest of ours that comes on Wednesdays, Bill King, thought that the Big 12 ought to jump on San Diego State very quickly. I think he's right about that. Just because, and I don't know, not a matter that, well, they're a perfect fit for the Big 12 or anything, but, you know, the commissioner of the Big 12, Mark, I think he's all about going as far with that reach as they possibly can. And if TV markets are, you know, now the biggest thing that commissioners are looking at, well, there you go. Southern California, the Big 12 doesn't have a footprint there. And they're already reaching to the coast with Gonzaga for basketball, and the other coast with UConn, maybe joining in all sports, and to the south with teams playing in Mexico for basketball, and baseball teams too. So I think it would only make sense if the Big 12 made that reach. Otherwise, you're right. It's like they may just be this free agent, and you're not going to have an independent out there. They'll be somewhere, and I think the Big 12 may be the landing spot.
Well, Phil, you know, I didn't know you had talked about it with anybody else, but I actually agree 100% with Bill. And, you know, what I can tell you is obviously, you know, you mentioned my alma mater, UConn being in the mix for the Big 12. And based on what I have been told, I actually think Brett Yormark, as you mentioned, the commissioner of the Big 12, I think San Diego State was very much in his crosshairs. Now, what ends up happening, and we know how this stuff goes, is it gets political. You get 12 school presidents, because remember, next year the Big 12 will be at 12 teams. This year it's actually at 14. Next year it goes back to 12 when Texas and Oklahoma leave. And I think what essentially happened was you get 12 cooks in the kitchen, and not everybody is kind of on the same wavelength. But I think, Phil, they looked at San Diego State the exact same way that you did. It's obviously a great basketball product. It is it's an up and coming football product. I mean, is it, whatever. It's an up and coming football product, whatever. They have pretty good Olympic sports. And as you said, you capture that Southern California market as much as San Diego State can. And oh, by the way, here's the other thing. You then keep San Diego State out of the Pac-12. And so I think it's a combination of, I think the presidents are still a little skittish. And I'll say this, from all accounts that I've heard, San Diego State wants the Pac-12, which I'm not really sure why. I mean, geographically, it obviously makes sense, but it's obviously the much less stable conference. I mean, it feels like Oregon and Washington are, waiting for hope upon hope that they get an invite to the Big Ten at some point, which I don't necessarily think is on the horizon. So I don't know why San Diego State wouldn't be more eager to talk to the Big 12 other than geography. But listen, if we've learned one thing with this realignment stuff, geography really doesn't matter at this point, not with USC and UCLA going to the Big Ten. But it's fascinating, and I'm with Bill, as I think the Big 12, I think there were certain factions in the Big 12 that absolutely wanted a harder push for San Diego State, but I think there's some people that don't want them. And then I think I'm not positive that that's what San Diego State wants, and I think that's a tactical mistake on their part.
Is the Big 12 up for grab when Texas and Oklahoma leaves? Who do you see being the Texas and Oklahoma? Because when you talk about the Big 12, those are the first two teams that come to mind as the Blue Bloods, kind of. Who takes over as top dog in the Big 12?
Well, there's no replacing him, Matt. I remember, it's so funny, right? When Texas and Oklahoma left, the big, how do you, there's no replacing Texas and Oklahoma. There just isn't. There's no facsimile that's going to join your league. But I think what they're going to try to sell, especially in football without Texas, Oklahoma, is that we have the greatest parity in the sport of college football. And so, last year it was TCU. The year before it was Baylor. Oklahoma State has had their moments in time. Maybe Houston rises up. Maybe Central Florida becomes the Big Four in the state of Florida. So I think that's what they're going to sell. But if I had to pick one program, I do think it's TCU. I think they figured out, listen, we're in Dallas. Let's keep as many of those kids at home, which isn't, brilliant out-of-the-box thinking. Sonny Dykes, when he was at SMU, I thought did a really good job with kind of those bounce-back kids that go to a Texas, go to an Alabama, and maybe it doesn't work out. And so I think he's going to get a lot of those kids. I mean, even this offseason, they were very successful in the transfer portal, getting those guys that did go to the Alabamas and places like that with Texas ties. So that would be the school to me, and I don't think it's just because they're coming off the run to the national championship game, but that's the school that, to me, is best suited to really kind of take over that league. But there's Texas and Oklahoma, just from a history perspective, a brand perspective, there's nothing like it. But like I said, I think that the Big 12 is very much going to try to sell, hey, we are the most balanced league in college football. We're not the ACC with just Clemson and Florida State. We're not the Big 10 with just Michigan and Ohio State. There's a lot here. We'll see if it works, but that's where I think they're going to try to brand themselves once Texas and Oklahoma officially do leave a year from now.
Aaron, appreciate you, man. Always good talking with you. Thanks a lot. Have a good weekend.
You too, fellas. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Aaron.
Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. Aaron Torres Sports Media. Got a Torres on Arkansas Twitter account. Always gives good information. And he's with us each Friday on Halftime. Lunchtime right now at Joe's Grill and Cantina. They've got Fajita Friday specials all day long. $10 chicken fajitas, $11 steak fajitas. You get your sides with it. Only $5 for flavored margaritas all day long at Joe's Grill and Cantina. They have the best service in town from the friendliest people. Joe's Grill and Cantina's got the big screen TVs all around the restaurant, patio dining, and live music. Best Tex-Mex in town. Something for everybody at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps and Fort Smith. They're on Facebook for daily specials. And stay with us as Halftime returns right after this.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is halftime.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Attention car shoppers. In the market for a new ride? Look no further than Road Chevrolet Van Buren, your trusted destination for great selection and unbeatable prices. We have dozens of new Chevrolets on the way waiting to land in your driveway. Reserve yours today and don't pay 1 penny over MSRP. Have a car to sell? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your car even if you don't buy from us. Getting a hassle-free appraisal only takes a few minutes. Buying or selling a car doesn't have to be a stressful experience when you deal with the pros at Road Chevrolet Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Ocker Funeral Home knows that thinking about the inevitability of one's death is a subject that few like to consider. For many, actually moving ahead with their pre-planning or prepaying for their funeral is even more difficult to act on. With a large number of options available today, it's important to speak to someone you can trust. Ocker Funeral Homes in Van Buren, Alma, and Fort Smith, serving the community for over 100 years. Call 474-2523 for an appointment.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Seem to face up to the facts. I'm tense and nervous, can't relax, can't sleep, bed's on fire. Don't touch me, I'm a real live wire. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run, 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 run away.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
Go back and checking Matt Jones, and you mentioned it to Aaron Torres in the last segment about Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12, the supposed dominant programs in the conference, and they have been over the course of the 30 years.
You start the Big 12 with those two teams.
League. But they've had 4 different conference champions in the last 4 years. Oklahoma in 2019, and that was really the end of Oklahoma's dominance.
Was that Stoops? Was that it for him, or was he gone? When did Stoops leave Oklahoma?
No, Lincoln Riley was.
That was Lincoln Riley.
That was his first year.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. 2020, you had Iowa State. Baylor won in 21, TCU last year.
Iowa State won in 2020. How cool is that? Cyclones.
877-377-6963 for the McClarty Daniel hotline. Make sure to visit any of their 6 locations in Springdale or Bentonville. Also online at McClartyDaniel.com. And let's go to the phones. Eduardo is here. That's why we were playing Psycho Killer, because Eddie loves Talking Heads. I tried to get him on the Psycho Killer song at some point. What's up, Eduardo? How are you?
Man, I am doing good, gentlemen. I hope all had a happy 4th with their families, and I hope it was a bang. Which reason why I'm calling in. I'm starting to feel it in the air. 58 days to kick off against Western Carolina, and I think it's going to be a great season, gentlemen, for a lot of reasons. It's been 12 years, gentlemen, since we've had a 10-win season. And I believe we're going to have a shot at it this year. I believe this year Texas A&M is going to run out of leprechauns in Arlington, and we're going to close the deal out. You look at last year, we lost 4 games, gentlemen, by 7 points. That's hard to take. Now, that's the difference between having a 10-win season last year to 6-6. And I got a little message for Coach Pittman and our football program this year before the season. I'm going to remind them every day to kick off, because you all are ambassadors of winning and tradition at the U of A. And if you don't look at it like that, then stay at the house, because that's what you are. Coach Pittman, sir, you are the conductor of this football program, and it falls on your shoulder to make sure they close it out. And we didn't do that last year very well. And there's a lot of reasons, but I'm going to listen for if you be patient with me. I believe we got a better play caller, and Coach Dan, he knows. I believe when we get in those games this year, and it comes down to, the winning and losing, we're going to win them. How great is that? Because he's a better, efficient play caller. I believe we got the best quarterback in the SEC. I believe we got one of the best running backs and Rocket Sanders in the entire country, not just the SEC. And so we got the coaching to get it done. The question is, players, you got to look at you ourselves as ambassadors. You are ambassadors of this great fan base of our football program, and your families, and winning. And so you just got to make your mind up, or you don't close the deal out. And I'm getting ready.
Certainly hope they will, Eddie. And when I'm looking at the schedule here, though, I'm definitely seeing a 4-game stretch that nobody else in the country has to face. And I even wonder about some of the other programs that are thought of as national contenders, how they would fare with the 4-game stretch of being away from home for a month, at LSU, neutral against A&M, at Ole Miss, at Alabama. I think there's some really good programs in the country that would have a struggle with that. That's what I look at when I look at this schedule, and I think, hey, this is not as tough as a schedule as you faced last year, except for this stretch of 4 consecutive games that, man, I think you'd have to be happy getting out of that at 2-2. And there's some things you got to improve upon from last year as well. We talk about this all the time, Matt, that there are things you got to do, the little things so-called, in order to win the close games. And we'll look back at all these close losses from last year and say, well, they were that close to being a 9 or 10-win team. But these were things that hampered them throughout the season. Inability to close near the goal line, tough sledding on 3rd and short, 4th and short, bad tackling, porous secondary. There wasn't just one or two instances of this. This was an entire season thing. That's what happens when you lose close games.
Yeah, and you win as a team and you lose as a team. And this year you hope to have better third down efficiency. You hope to be better in the red zone. I mean, that's something where you have to be. It's called the money zone for a reason. And then the special teams have to be special. When you have a field goal kicker like we had last year, that I think was one of the best in the country. I mean, you gotta take your 3 points, man. I always say take your points in the first half. You look at these games and nothing's a given, but take your points in the first half. No matter what you do, take your free points anytime you get a chance to get them.
Time to shift our attention briefly here, I guess, to Texas because Brian in Ozark is here. What's up, Brian? What about
Not much. How you doing?
I'm great. Yeah.
Yep.
But congratulations on the preseason. Congratulations on the preseason Big 12 championship. That'll get that, and $10 might get you a couple of Happy Meals.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna hold my comment on that one. Yesterday I heard Matt say something, and I do believe Matt's totally right on one thing. I believe Texas always looked at Arkansas as, a Vanderbilt or a Kansas or a non-threat to them. You're looking at a school that's got 58,000 students compared to Arkansas's got 24 or 25. So Texas always thinks they're going to win.
Brian, I have a feeling Texas viewed everybody like that. I don't think they just view Arkansas in that sense.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like Alabama. Alabama never considers Arkansas a threat.
Well, yeah, when you haven't beat a team in 15 years, 17 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
But Brian, it's a matter of how a fan base or a program views themselves, and Alabama's earned the right to view Arkansas that way.
That's
and
right.
Everybody else.
We've lost out, but Texas, on the other hand, what are we, 7-3 in the last 10 with Texas? I mean, we've kind of owned Texas.
But what is Texas? in the last 10 years even. That's kind of the point I'm getting at here.
Just the matchup with Arkansas, you go back from 99, so if you go back 20-something years,
Texas is 50-39 in the last 10 years. Alabama is, a lot better than that. So Alabama's earned the right to view whomever they want to view that way. I don't think Texas has. Good to hear from you, Brian. I always appreciate the moments where we shift over to the Texas Longhorns there. But I got to get off because we're right up against our break here. Thanks, Brian.
Like I said, Phil, when you're used to whooping a team like that, you it's totally different, Texas and Alabama. We haven't beat Alabama in almost 2 decades, and we've been able to beat Texas the last couple of times. The last time we faced off, didn't Coach Bielema beat Texas? Was that him or was
Pretty
that?
Sure about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, though. It's like, so we at Arkansas occasionally view Missouri maybe in that same light.
I think so. I think
Arkansas has not done anything to view Missouri in that light.
We got to get over that. That's
right.
100%. Because if you don't, that you keep on taking L's.
You got to get past it. You got to get past the thought of where you're sick of playing them on an annual basis, because you know what? You're going to play them on an annual basis. We're coming back and wrap up hour number 1 after this.
Texas is, then she'd be here with me, and then nothing else would come between the two of us. If Dallas was in Tennessee.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has been serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma since 1964. That's over 50 years of commercial and residential services from their 2 locations on Zero Street in Fort Smith. Arkansas Glass and Mirror offers custom-cut tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and plate glass. Whether commercial entry doors or home glass projects, remember Arkansas Glass and Mirror. Online at arkansasglassandmirror.com or give them a call, 646-4300.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're replacing a car, selling a car, repairing a car, or anything else automotive, we've got you. Plus, follow us on Facebook to enter our Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. It's fun and it's free with great prizes. Think of us next time you have any automotive need and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Camus, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofers.com. That's Kophers.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
With Hardee's Double Deals, get a double cheeseburger or bacon double cheeseburger starting at just $2.99. That's double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese. Or double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese and bacon. Both starting at only $2.99. Hardee's, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory, then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Cash Money Records taking over for the 99 in the 2000s. Girl, you working with some bag, yeah. This stack, yeah. Make it want to spend his cash, yeah. His last, yeah. Girls proud with your pass, yeah. They mad, yeah. You could ride in the Jag, yeah. With that, yeah. You could smoke a fire bag, yeah. A grass, yeah. Got money I can flash, yeah. And trash, yeah. I'm a bitch, I'm a player, yeah. Gun spray, yeah. A clear head, a flipper, yeah. Grey Billy, yeah. Like I be slinging wood, yeah. I'm out the hood, yeah. Let it be understood, yeah. It's all good, yeah. Got it, yeah. See me low, yeah. On the hard, yeah. You a smooth here, broad, yeah. I want to draw, yeah. Hope you can do a trick, yeah. On the stick, yeah. You claiming you want to fit, yeah. They ain't it, yeah. I'm the
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
This morning, Northwestern University announced a 2-week suspension of head football coach Pat Fitzgerald. This is without pay. It made an investigation finding evidence to support claims of hazing. And Fitzgerald's been there since 2006. So he's going to start serving this suspension right now. And you don't miss any practices. You don't miss any games. Don't even miss Big Ten Media Days because it looks like Big Ten Media Days are scheduled really just 2 weeks after this little suspension comes to an end. The investigation was launched in January. One claim from an anonymous whistleblower was supported, And apparently these were things that the coaches were unaware of, but still going to be responsible for it anyway. And this coming on the heels of a 1-11 season and a couple of losing years in a row. And Fitzgerald, who's had 3 10-win seasons at Northwestern, which feels like quite an achievement, might be coaching for his job right now. 2-week suspension for hazing. And I don't know exactly the situation, what kind of hazing this was. We'd had some really crazy hazing allegations at New Mexico State University men's basketball. The school paid, I think it was $7 million for a settlement to the players that claimed that they were hazed. No word on what the allegations dealt with, but Pat Fitzgerald has been suspended for 2 weeks without pay.
I had some good coaches in my days, Jack Del Rio and Houston Nutt, and even my junior ho coaches with my dad and high school coaches as well. But there wasn't any hazing going on. I think it starts with the coach. It really does. You set the tone early. You let the kids know that there's no, tomfoolery. You're not going to do anything like that would you would have to get reprimanded for.
I want to imagine for something like this, there had to be some physical hazing.
That's what I mean. It starts with the coach. It really does.
Give us a call or a text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Moving into the second hour, and halftime is right back.
The largest used car sale in eastern Oklahoma history is this weekend at Harry Robinson Salasol Ford. We're even giving away a truck at 5 o'clock on Saturday. Take a free test drive. There's no cost to enter. You just got to be here to win it.
Yeah, man. It doesn't cost you anything. Just come down here. Go for a test drive. We're giving away a truck at 5 p.m. on Saturday. You got to come down here and see us. This is the biggest sales event that Harry Robinson Salasol Ford has ever had. This is going to be a huge, huge sale, and I promise you, it's going to be worth it just to come down here. I mean, we've got free lunch. We've got the bounce houses for the kids. We're doing the truck giveaway. We're matching down payments up to $2,500. Every single vehicle on the lot will have a discount. So get down here and see us.
Prices start at $65.99.
Yes, prices start at $65.99. So come down here and see us. We got vehicles less than $7,000. So come down here and see us.
It's all at Harry Robinson Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salasol. This is the largest used car sale event we've ever seen. Over 400 vehicles available this weekend. Harry Robinson Salasol Ford.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, some sunshine, a chance of seeing some showers and some scattered thunderstorms are high this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. Chance of showers and scattered storms tonight, and overnight low upper 60s to low 70s. Saturday, showers, occasional thunderstorms are high temperatures on Saturday, right around 80 to 85. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
AJ spins away at the 30, still on his feet. He's going to score. Touchdown, Arkansas.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 57 days. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I put my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Into hour number 2, halftime on a Wednesday like Friday. But, hey, tomorrow's not Thursday, so you get to actually have the day off for those who don't work on the weekends. And that will include me, Phil Elson, and Matt Jones and Matt Travis. We've got our McClarty Daniel hotline open for calls and texts at 877-377-6963. No guests for this second hour of halftime, and it's just you and us. Matt Jones, do you have any interest in watching Victor Wembanyama make his Summer League debut today? You know, the Spurs play against Charlotte, and Nick Smith and Brandon Miller in Vegas.
Absolutely. I like watching Summer League ball. I like getting a feel for the young pups, and it's a lot like it's kind of like Isaiah Campbell as far as like they get to the NBA, and it's going to take them 3 years, 4 years before they're really getting that start and where they're really playing meaningful minutes. But I like to see early on what they got going, who's taking charge. I really like to see who can play defense, who can pass the ball. We all know you can score, who understands the concept of the game. And sometimes summer ball it's go out there and get mine, a little bit of that. But I do like seeing the fluidity and watching them grow up, because it's the college. Aaron's so right when he says the college game and the program's so different. So you're taking these guys that play college basketball at a high level and they're tremendous athletes. Then you're moving them to the NBA game where it's a lot more spacing. It's a lot more being able to shoot open shot. In college, you still get away with guys that can't shoot outside shots. In the NBA, that's part of the game. You have to be able to shoot a jump shot to play in the NBA, or you have to be Shaquille O'Neal, And so Wemby seems to have some of those tools and some of those traits. He's definitely, but so is Kevin Durant. When he got in there, he was real thin. So you just want to see kind of what he has going, because I don't trust what he was doing in the French league as far as the talent. How many of those guys are going to play in the NBA? But he's a pterodactyl, man. He's a unicorn. If he can stay healthy, I think he can have a Hall of Fame type career.
Well, and it's so interesting because it hasn't even been a month since the draft, and now you're playing games. That's what it used to be. That's what it's like in the major leagues when you get drafted and then you're playing for a minor league team. Sometimes a week later, 2 weeks later. I remember a guy that we had on one of my minor league teams that helped pitch Southern California to the 1998 College World Series Championship. The guy was a record setter there at Southern California, pitching in front of 25,000 at Rosenblatt Stadium, and then a week later he's pitching in front of dozens of people at little Kendrick Legion Field in Helena, Montana. It's a little bit different though, because there will be apparently they've sold the arena out tonight.
Well,
17,000 tickets sold to a summer league game just because it's Wemby and no other reason than it's him.
These you got Brandon Miller too. Is that right?
Well, that's true, but I mean, if it was just Brandon Miller, it wouldn't get that kind of draw.
No.
And he was the 3rd overall pick, and he does not have that kind of cachet, even though he was SEC Player of the Year and there was a whole controversy surrounding him and everything. It's all about Wemby.
Yeah, I want to see how he moves. I want to see how physical he is. I want to see if he can get to his spot. If somebody's able to push him off his spot real easy. I see a lot of the same type of traits in a guy at the University of Arkansas in Travion Brazil, that he has some of those traits that Wemby could do. I just want to see him playing against grown men, which I know there's a couple of them out there, but they're still young. They're growing into their bodies. it's going to be a more physical game than what he was playing over there in France. So you just want to see all that stuff and see how he reacts a little bit.
Did you see the story about Britney Spears trying to approach him?
Oh, my goodness.
I mean,
she's like, I saw him twice. It's like, oh, my goodness.
He wasn't even born when – I mean, like, when did the big Britney Spears hits come out?
Oh, that was in high school, right?
98,
like that was
99.
MTV still, yeah.
He wasn't even alive.
20 years ago, yeah.
He wasn't even alive. Come on now.
Hey, game recognized game. You know, she was like, hey, I'm a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer.
It'd be like Barbara Streisand walking up to Michael Jordan circa 1984. You're kind of that exact thing.
Yeah.
It's another instance of us getting just a little bit too old. You see, Wemby says that Britney Spears, quote unquote, grabbed him from behind. She claims on a Twitter post that she just tapped him on the shoulder. Which one are you more likely to believe?
Oh, my goodness.
Honestly, I am much more likely to believe that Britney Spears isn't, first of all, able to grab somebody who is 7'4" tall around the shoulders. I just don't see that happening. I could see her reaching up as high as she can on her tiptoes and tapping on the shoulder. Apparently, she got slapped in the face by the security guard.
My thing would be, if you got your people and he has his people, why are your people not talking? Why is it not like, hey, this is Britney, hey, this is Wemby? You know, why is that's how that's in that type of world that they have their people that are, or you go up and you approach them from the front, you know, not the rear. You don't go up and it's like. So it just seems kind of fishy, but you know what? We're talking about Britney Spears. You know, she's getting her name out there. She seems to stay in the media.
Found a way to do it. Just took the overall number one pick, who's 7'4" or 7'6", depending on who it is you want to believe. But yeah, it's like I'm not really that interested in watching NBA Summer League games. I guess I'd be interested in watching a little of the Razorbacks who are playing in that. So Nick Smith Jr. I mean, that'd be a reason why I might turn it on. But seeing somebody with a potential, you know, pack of skills that I don't know if I've ever seen before, maybe that would interest me in watching it too. 877-377-6963 on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Are you interested in watching Wemby's debut today in Vegas on TV?
Absolutely, because you got Nick Smith again. You want to see how he's holding up. He played the last game. What do you have, 14 shots, I believe, and so you just kind of see. I think he's a guy that will be able to get some assists off his shots. That's kind of like a James Harden style where he's still going to get his, but he'll be able. He has good enough vision, and he's able to pass the ball. So I just want to see his growth. And if you're a Nick Smith fan, I mean, a guy from Arkansas, we didn't get to see that at Arkansas. He had some glimpses, some flashes, but I want to continue to see his growth because he's a talented player. It's just, can he stay healthy? And kind of the same concept with Wemby. You know, when you're playing against a bigger, stronger athlete, how's that knee going to feel? But the thing about the NBA is there is going to be more spacing. That's advantage Nick Smith. When they close things in, that's advantage Anthony Black. You know, it's advantage the athletes like that have some ball skills.
What a brilliant thing by the NBA to do this summer league. Really, it's brilliant because the NBA is now turned into a 12-month-a-year thing. I mean, the off-season trades, free agency is really interesting. It draws you in. Even the rumors really draws you in. Baseball, hot stove league used to be like that, but that's kind of petered off a little. At least this last offseason, it petered off a little bit. But the summer league, it's like, how you're going to get 17,000 people in to watch essentially a game that has no meaning whatsoever outside of whatever standings in that Vegas summer league. But it's all about getting a chance to watch Victor Wembanyama, and then, you know, who knows what the rest of his games look like, if there's going to be 17,000 tickets sold at all of them. And I thought initially he was supposed to make his debut in Sacramento, but it's going to be tonight in Vegas instead. And you mentioned about Isaiah Campbell earlier.
How'd it go?
He didn't pitch yesterday. He didn't even start. He was called up.
It's a soft opening. It was, yeah.
It was the equivalent of a soft opening for a restaurant. He didn't have the entire menu available to him yesterday. But the Mariners did announce the transaction of
I saw
Isaiah
his picture
Campbell
on the social media thing, yeah. He has a dope mustache going on, though. Like He's resembling more Eric Ganjay every day. Yeah.
He's got the tallest hair that I know of in professional baseball. I mean, that's a few inches up, and he's already 6'4". I guess that would make him 6'7" with the hair, just like Fletch. But you wouldn't have even been able to watch it yesterday unless you had the whatever local network carries,
whatever streaming service,
the Houston Astros. Well, it's because Major League Baseball, if you have MLB.TV, I think any market in Arkansas is deemed within the footprint of the Houston Astros TV footprint, so you wouldn't have been able to watch it. That's how I would have watched on MLB.TV. But since Houston was involved in it, I would have gotten the screen that says this game's not available in your market, so I wouldn't have been able to watch anyway. And George Kirby went out and threw 6 2/3 stellar innings as Seattle beat Houston 5-1. No announcement on when Isaiah Campbell will pitch, but the fact that he didn't start yesterday and that he has only made 4 career starts in the minors, and we thought yesterday, based on what that television reporter in Kansas City had tweeted, not only was Zake being called up, but he was going to start the game. Turned out he wasn't the starter. He didn't even pitch, and now I think he's going to pitch in relief. But I do wonder, about this time, you got 1 game left before the All-Star break. I hope this isn't one of those things where they call Zay up and he doesn't pitch.
He doesn't play.
It goes down next week or something once somebody comes off the injured list.
Well, he's on the board. He's there. I mean, he's on the cusp. It's part of it. So it's a good sign. This is his 3rd year in the bigs as far as kind of traveling around. So it just takes a while. It's just part of it. But I'll be pulling for him whenever he goes out there.
Aaron in Mountainburg says he's closer-ish. Now he closed. I think he had 5 saves for the Arkansas Travelers, and he's been just a 1-inning pitcher in the minor leagues. So that's why I didn't understand why. And again, this was what the reporter from Kansas City said yesterday, that he would start. It didn't make sense to me unless they were just going to use him as an opener. And I don't think Seattle is an organization that really uses those 1-inning openers very often, if at all. So I don't think that they'll close Isaiah with the big league team, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's pitching 6th, 7th, 8th inning or something. I don't know where they view him as far as depth chart's concerned. You brought him up, might as well use him. David's interested in the summer league game just to watch Brandon Miller.
I mean, it's just that collection of group of guys. The Spurs organization's a lot like the Heat, so you think they're going to be all right. Charlotte, Orlando, Charlotte's not going to be any good next year. I mean, they're not going to be a playoff team, so. It'd be interesting to. I just like to see him running up and down the floor and see who can who's kind of starting to be the alphas out there and who's the role players. Everybody knowing the role. I really like to see how they act on the defensive end, how you talk, how you just whatever the scheme is. If you're going over the screen, under the screen, whatever, but working together. It's tough. You don't see a lot of that in the summer league, but you want to see also who can make open shots. If you're looking on the offensive side of the ball, it's who knows how to pass the ball when the guy's open, and then when you get open, who's able to make shots.
And I see, Bet Saracen's got summer league games on the Bet Saracen app. They got them all right there. Spurs are a 6.5-point favorite, minus 250 on the money line. And JT in Laurel, Mississippi, Matt is asking, would you bet on Charlotte tonight? I don't even know who's on the other teams, to be honest. I just know about the 3 we've talked about.
A summer league game, that unless I have the Alabama baseball coach calling me, telling me who's playing and what's going on, there's no way.
Something to ask Neil.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. How do you handicap? That has to be a tough job. I know the public helps them in how they handicap, but how do you handicap a summer league game?
You got to be a pro.
Got to.
You got to be a pro all the way, 100%, as far as that's concerned. Yeah, I mean they've got all the summer league games there, every single one of them on the Bet Saracen app. Also a full Major League Baseball schedule and anything else going on in the world of sports, including the Major League Baseball draft specials right there on your Bet Saracen app. Good for your Apple iPhone or Google Android service. Any web browser as well at betsaracen.com. Our McClarty Daniel hotline open at 877-377-6963. Halftime will come right back.
I tell you what, I know this got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy's the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors has a great selection of summer footwear for you. Men's and ladies sandals, flip-flops, and hikers by Sanuk, Cobia, Frog Talks, Northside, Saucony, and Hey Dudes. Get ready for the 4th of July with the new patriotic Hey Dudes. They're on sale now for men and women. Jelco Outdoors, your summer footwear store for work, play, hiking, and fishing. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Abby with Davis Floor Covering. Whether it's a remodel or new construction, let Davis Floor Covering help you with all your flooring needs and more. We carry top brands such as MSI, the largest flooring distributor in North America, with hardwoods, luxury vinyl plank, tile, solid surface countertops, ledger panels, waterproof wood, laminate, and more. Stop by our showrooms in Fort Smith and Tahlequah. Call us at 479-452-4808 to get started today. That's 452-4808 for Davis Floor Covering.
Hi, it's Ben from Wow World of Wireless, your local Dish Premier retailer. Are you a DirecTV customer? Upgrade to Dish and get a $300 prepaid MasterCard. Just mention offer code DTV to Dish. And that's not all. With Dish and Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Upgrade to Dish from DirecTV today. Never run out of space again and get a $300 prepaid MasterCard when you mention offer code DTV to Dish. Visit us our new location at 601 Church Street in Barley next to Frank Rowe Furniture, or call us today at 877-305-DISH to learn more and make the switch to Dish. That's 877-305-3474.
Offer ends 7/12/23. Monthly equipment fees, eligibility requirements, and restrictions apply. Call for full details. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
It's time to say goodbye to that slow, no-go internet. Wave Rural Connect is opening the Hartford zone for orders July 10th. That's areas like West Hartford, Gibson Ridge, and Elm Park. Internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider in Ozark. Available July 10th. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Happy National Dive Bar Day, everybody. Dive bar is defined as a small, unglamorous, eclectic, old-style drinking establishment with inexpensive drinks. It says it may feature dim lighting. I would think that would be a feature of all of them, is dim lighting.
Live music.
You don't always want to see you sitting next to you at some of those places.
Sometimes don't turn the speakers up so loud.
Pickled eggs on the counter. That goes along with dive bars, too. Pickled hot dogs of some sort.
Now you're getting in your soccer, your English talk over there. Get a pint and a pickled egg.
That's the thing at every English pub? Well, maybe pre-soccer. Is that a pre-soccer food?
Fish and chips, pickled. You like kimchi? Like, will you eat
Yes.
So my thing is, I get it, but I'll just take the regular vegetables, the fresh vegetables, and then if we have to go live in a bunker and we have to do this, then okay, then I'll take that. But yeah,
I'd be interested in trying my own kimchi recipe, spicy as well.
Yeah,
I'm good with all kinds of pickled things, but it just seems to me that would be a feature of at least most of the dive bars that I've been inside. There's a couple that stand out to me. By the way, now I love Maxine's Tap Room. I don't think that's a dive bar.
Tap rooms are big in Pittsburgh now. They got the most tap rooms, I think, per square mile.
Well, let me look here though at the definition of a dive bar. Would Maxine's qualify? Small, it's not large, unglamorous, it's not glamorous, eclectic, yes. Old style drinking establishment. I think it's been around for like 60 or 70 years. So yeah, inexpensive drinks, ish, dim lighting. Sure, yeah, Maxine's qualifies. I always was a fan of Town Pump in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Maybe one of the only biker bars I've ever been to, but that was right next to the visiting team hotel. And put it in these terms, that was where every visiting team in the Texas League stayed when they visited Tulsa. So every visiting team in the Texas League knew the Town Pump and knew the very friendly bartender behind the bar giving you $1.50 Bud Lights and Coors Lights.
Oh, there you go, right there, $1.50. Yeah. Is a dive bar something also that's not? The name's not going to be out on the marquee. Like you just kind of know where it is. You dive off. It's in the cut, kind of like it. Dive bars aren't that. You don't go around. It's like you don't have signs saying this way to the dive bar.
Or if it is, it's got a couple of letters broken and the arrow is pointing in the wrong direction.
The neon light's just a little bit out. Yeah.
Now the speakeasy wouldn't have anything that marks it saying that, hey, this is a place to come.
And you got to walk downstairs to get into the speakeasy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always an extra door, an extra couple of doors before you end up finding your way in there. Now the dive bar door is probably wide open for you. You just got to hesitate. Before if you're one of those people that spends plenty of time in dive bars, you'd walk right in. It looks friendly. For those who are a little bit more genteel, and you see all the motorcycles parked on the outside, you probably stand on the outside, like not on the threshold of the entrance, but 30 yards away, thinking it over.
I don't know if this is a good decision or not.
Right.
Yeah. When in all actuality, you can go in the front door, the back door. It's open door policy.
What was another place? Chief's Cafe. Now that's a place in Pittsburgh. That's one I guess you'd classify it as a shotgun bar, kind of like the Shotgun House, because it's long, very narrow, but not wide at all. You really can't fit like 3 rows of people in this place, and it looks like the wood paneling is, back when the steel mills were really a big thing then, circa the 60s. But that place, Chief's Cafe, had these, I don't remember what they called them, but they were fireball-soaked cherries. You always have to have something on the counter edible. Something on the counter's got to be edible. These were the fireball-soaked cherries, or some sort of cinnamon bourbon or cinnamon whiskey. I went in there a couple of times as a I was going to say late teenager, let's say early 20s, and those cherries stood out. There's always got to be some kind of weird food on the bar, and when and in Little Rock there's Midtown Billiards, which is as divish as it gets. There's plenty of them over there. There's another town pump in Little Rock that's got great burgers.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
That's
yeah.
a dive bar too.
There was a burger joint down there that the thing that I can't do. I don't know if you can, Phil. I don't necessarily mind I mean, I really do mind, I guess, but I cannot eat if there's cigarette smoke going on. You know, like a little pub or a little dive bar, and you go in there, somebody's blowing smoke. It's hard to eat.
You know, and I would imagine that if we want to throw another piece of the definition for dive bar there, it's probably got to be a smoking bar too, right? You can't. There aren't a lot of dive bars, I guess, that are going to be non-smoking. It just seems like that's the. And I'm with you too. We don't do a lot of smoking sections in just regular restaurants that don't have a bar as part of it, but we do have. I think we do have plenty of dive bars that sell food that you can smoke inside. Midtown was one of those places, and it's been a while since I was at Midtown, but that was. What is it with the dive bars and the burgers? The pickled foods are part of it, but all the dive bars, or at least some that I've been to, have had very good burgers too. The Midtown Billiards burgers, those were legendary. Might still be, I think, and they were cooked on. It was the funniest thing when you'd see it. They were cooked on probably the original prototype of the George Foreman grill. Like the actual one that the invention was built off of.
Every college sophomore had one in his dorm room.
Oh, and Midtown Billiards had two of them going side by side, just with charring those burgers as hard as they possibly could.
It's George Foreman tell the story of the George Foreman grill, and John Madden tells the story of the John Madden video game, and they're very similar stories. Both of them are like, I had no idea what was going on or that this would be anything money-wise, and then it was one of their biggest money makers ever. That video game, Madden, I think, is still the number one sports game.
Rogers Rec is a great dive bar in Fayetteville. Text out of the 479. That's one I haven't visited yet. I have been to Art's Place, and of course, it's got a great burger. Again, this goes with the dive bars. Art's Place right there on College. That's one that continues to go strong for a long time now. Jamie in Fayetteville worked at the Beer Keg on Township during his college days. Very small. Again, if you're going to be a real dive bar, it's probably going to be a really small location, or at least one that gets cramped quickly. So happy. We had another the dive bar that I grew up going. You can't say grew up going to a dive bar, can you? That doesn't
unless
work.
you're Billy Bob Thornton's kid. Yeah.
Or unless your dad owned one
right.
growing up. But this was one that I had to use the fake ID for, and it was at Ryan's Pub. Really, it was like a 5-minute drive or a 20-minute walk from the house for me and my friends. And it was an Irish pub. They didn't have pickled foods on the counter. They did have good burgers. They had a great dartboard.
There you go.
You got to have a good dartboard. If you're going to go to a dive bar, it's going to have a really old dartboard where probably the metal is sticking out of the dartboard a little bit, knocks your dart off the dartboard rather than helps it settle in. You know what I mean? That's very dive bar-ish to me.
No plastic darts.
Yeah, and then the guy who says Rogers Rec is the best dive bar in Fayetteville says another requirement for a dive bar is that you're going to have a chance to get your butt kicked at some point.
Yeah, you better stick with your own people, right?
Did that happen at Rogers Rec?
Dance with the girl that brought you. If she's pretty, she probably already has a boyfriend.
Watch out for the side eye, too. Pretty please watch out for the side eye. Charlie's on hold here on the McClarty Daniel hotline. What's up, Charlie? How you doing?
Matt, I hear you say that I'm supposed to dance with the girl that brought me. You mean I brought her, right?
There you go. There you go.
Or you just dance with yourself.
Little Billy
I don't
Idol.
do that, Phil. Phil, listen, if I'm going to go out there and look crazy, I ain't doing it by myself.
There's that whole idea of you to try to live like a dance like nobody's watching. Do that at a dive bar and see how long you last there.
Now, Phil, you were a bartender, right?
Never.
Did you do that?
You would not want me. I've never been a bartender. You would not.
He can
want
make
me
a
to
martini.
I would not.
It's
I would
a
not
martini.
work well in the service industry unless I'm making a drink for you at my house. Then that's different.
Come on, Phil, you'd be all right. We tip you pretty well. I mean, just get us that great martini. I think you'd be all right. No. Yeah, your sarcasm might get to a few.
I'd be way too sarcastic. I'd end up starting a fight that nobody finishes.
That you didn't even. Yeah. Hey, has the Texas guy called in today yet?
Briefly, near the end of the first hour, he lasted a little less time, probably a couple fewer minutes than the day before.
I don't know how in the world he stayed on there that long with Clay just ripping his butt, and then then you dived in, and then like I'm just sitting over there. I was looking at Matt the whole time, and he was keeping this straight face. I know he wanted to be like, man, we went down there and kicked.
Well, they beat us the next year. I didn't have much to say. It was 1-1.
I know. So you couldn't even talk, but that's okay. That's okay. I know Arkansas. Look, he gonna call up in here as a Texas fan. Did they not have their own show? That's all I'm saying.
Well, and that's what I kind of asked him too, Charlie. But I think he gets a kick out of whatever the conversation that he leaves in the wake of. But this isn't a Texas Longhorn show, so it's okay.
Obviously not. Look, I actually think this though. I thought Texas got screwed out of that game last year against Alabama. I don't know if you guys look back at some of the calls, and I know you talked about Bryce Young almost being down there, Phil.
Yeah, there were some questionable penalty calls that favored Bama, no doubt.
And I'm not saying they're going to go in there in Tuscaloosa because I ain't taking that bet. But I will say this as far as start goes. I think this is a big year for him. But I do think he has a chance to get it going in the right direction. We'll see. Jury's still out. Doesn't change the fact that I do not like them. They are very talented for sure, and we know that. But I do want to say this about our team. With us being more of a four-man front, though, Matt, that's going to be – we're still going to be the three-man, but with what's his name standing up, right, the jack position and coming down. Is that what
I do not know if as far as I haven't but I think we're going to be multiple, but I don't know how they're going to get there yet. I haven't seen it.
Okay. And do you remember playing against Travis? I mean, I wanted to ask that too.
That Auburn team had everybody. Man, that Auburn team, my 4 years, they had one of the years they won that split national title. I mean, they had Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams, Carlos Dansby, Carlos Rogers, Jason Camp. I mean, just first-round pick after first-round pick.
Team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And didn't they share that year? I can't remember. Anyway.
I think one of the polls gave them. It was still the BCS era or something, but I think one of the polls had them. Yeah. I mean, they went undefeated in the SEC. How are they not national champions?
I don't know, but y'all have a good one. I just wondered if you remember playing against him and how good he was. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie. Good to hear from Charlie today. Our McClarty Daniel hotline open for you, 877-377-6963. We've got a break right against it, and we'll come back with more halftime. Your calls and texts right after this.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
This is halftime.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll have our housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Where can you get good neighbor service and surprisingly great insurance rates? At State Farm, because State Farm agent Heath Roberts is your one-stop shop in the River Valley for the service you deserve at the price you want. So stop looking around. State Farm agent Heath Roberts is ready to help. Call 479-452-4088 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Here's to you and yours from your friends at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. Hey, warmer weather is with us, and that means fun in the outdoors. Whether you're in the boat, onshore enjoying a picnic, or attending a family celebration, In Good Spirits can provide you with the tastiest adult beverages in town. And don't forget to treat yourself as you listen to the game. In Good Spirits, Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Shop Meadows Lumber True Value for great bargains of the month. A 2-pack of 16-pound original charcoal by Kingsford is only $19.88. Right now, a 3x5 cotton American flag by Annan is just $15.99. Complete your outdoor patio set with a Four Seasons courtyard, sunny aisles, extra large, zero gravity chair for $59.99. A 108-piece mechanics tool and socket set is $89.99. A 10-piece screwdriver set by DeWalt is just $19.99. Don't miss out. Get these bargains of the month while supplies last. Meadows Lumber True Value.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Scott texted in on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, a good dive bar is only allowed to have 3 drink choices, beer, whiskey, and Coke.
1 shot, 1 bourbon, 1 beer.
Put all 3 of those things in the same cup. Why not? He says no White Claw or any seltzers are allowed. That'll get your butt kicked. That'll give you the cyanide, or they'll start the fight.
And here we drink whiskey, boy. If you want water, you better go outside and stick your head in a trough.
877-377-6963. What accent was that? That's the McClarty Daniel Hotline. What accent?
That's Back to the Future Part 3.
I was trying to quote back to, that was my
fancy
cowboy.
moccasins you got on there.
Yeah, what's that engine writing? NK. Well, man, squirrel, I'd get to moving if I was you.
It's just the first time I've ever heard you do an accent. I was entertained by it. I think everybody else was. Steve's called us from Waldron. What's up, Steve? How are you?
Hey, buddy, I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing great, thank you.
Hey, I coached. I worked at Baldor Electric in the 2000s, and a buddy of mine needed help coaching a T-ball team, and I made the mistake of telling him I'd help him. And we went to Muldrow, Oklahoma. The whole team was kin to him, and James Youngblood is his name. He had a guy a kid that played on the team. His name was Jaleel Youngblood. And years later, James sent me a message asking me if I remembered Jaleel. And I told him I did. And he said his name is Okafor now. And his James's cousin had died, and Jaleel's dad came and got him from Chicago and changed his name to Okafor, and then he went number 2 in the draft, and then he just disappeared.
It was him and Jabari Parker were the 1 and 2 coming out. He was just an undersized big that really wasn't that good. I mean, he had to put some more work in if you wanted to see. I mean, he was never what Joel Embiid was. You know, he had to get a little better, and he just never really did.
Yeah, well, it was a crazy story. You know, it was just, you know, he said, "Do you remember him?" I said, "Yeah."
Steve, what team is this again? What team is this that you coached? You coached Okafor?
The T-ball team in Mulder, Oklahoma, and he was head and shoulders bigger than all the rest of the kids. He was come up to my shoulder, and he was playing T-ball. And we had him on third base, and a little old kid hit a dribbler down the line, and Jaleel ran up there and got it and ran him down before he got to first base. I thought, wow, you know, it's like, yeah, he's a ball player. So, yeah, but I just always wondered what happened to him.
Well, he last played in the NBA in 2021. He was played for the Mexico City G League team. Was the most recent team he's played for. So really hadn't, I guess, yet to make much of a dent in professional basketball. Had a good rookie season, but really a big drop-off after that.
Yeah. Well, I was just curious. I appreciate it. I enjoy y'all's show.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that.
He was a heck of a player, especially in college. And I don't know that Jabari Parker's still kind of – but that was the big deal coming out of the draft. Who you taking? You know, who do you want then?
See, he was with the 2014-2015 Duke Blue Devils.
Mm-hmm.
So Grayson Allen on that. Grayson Allen was a freshman on that team. We have 8 players off that team that have played at least one game in the NBA, and Okafor, I think, has played in the most of them. I don't know what
he was on that
Allen's done.
The 2014-2015 national championship team. I think Justice Winslow was on that team. He was a freshman that did really well, and then ended up. You know, he kind of bloomed late in the year and ended up going in the first round to the Heat. And then I don't know where he is either. But he was a heck of a ball player, man.
Beat Wisconsin in the national championship game.
That's Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker, that squad right there. I don't know if Kaminsky was drafted by Michael Jordan in the Charlotte. I don't even know if they were the Bobcats or the Hornets back then.
I forget the year that they made the change over to that. Okafor in the title game, 10 points, 3 rebounds. Tyus Jones led them in that game. Anyway, that's interesting. I mean, you coach a kid when he's, what do you say, he was up to a T-ball, so that's got to be really young. I mean, T-ball is age 6, age 7.
It's got a 7'5" wingspan is what I saw. You know, what they say, Jordan Walsh has 7'1". He's a 6'7" kid with 7'1", and then so he had 7'5".
Wonder how much longer after that.
He's 6'11". Yeah.
Levels of baseball or T-ball or whatever. Because if you're playing T-ball, you're pretty much 6 or 7, right? You kind of stop playing T-ball once you get about 8 or 9 years old.
They start doing coach pitch about 7, right? 7 or 8. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Anything on the McClarty Daniel hotline? 877-377-6963. We haven't even brought up the Major League Draft yet. Starts on Sunday. Saw that Keith Law of The Athletic now has Pittsburgh selecting Wyatt Langford from Florida with the top overall pick, which would fly in the face of a bunch of the other mock drafts that I've seen recently. But the thought is, I guess, that Pittsburgh wants a bat. Dylan Cruz doesn't want to sign with them or is going to set a dollar figure that Pittsburgh is unwilling to spend. Langford, I mean, he's kind of, I'm not even going to say he's Dylan Cruz light. His numbers were not quite as good, but nearly as good. And, you know, Cruz won a national title. Langford was a runner-up. They both play the same position, center field. So, I don't know. Langford feels like he's close-ish to the major leagues. I think he and Cruz aren't interchangeable, but I don't think that would be a terrible number 1 pick. If you got to go with a hitter, I still feel I mean, so many scouts right now are pointing to Paul Skeens as being the best college pitcher since Steven Strasburg. And
Washington Nationals, yeah.
Well, in Strasburg's dealt with injuries. That's more than anything what's derailed his career. I mean, he already has a World Series MVP when the Nationals won the championship in 2019. But the thing with Strasburg, and I'm not a pitching coach or anything, but I do know, reading about mechanics and things, there was something in the mechanics for Strasburg that I don't think the number of injuries that he's dealt with are a big surprise to certain folks who know what they're talking about with this. When you look at Skeens, I don't think he has some of those mechanical tendencies. They'll talk about that inverted W.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that'll present a little more stress. I don't see that from Skeens. He's got more of a compact delivery. And I guess it's like what Kevin Bohannon said yesterday. Anytime a major league organization, and I think college teams have to view this the same way. You bring in a freshman or a high school senior into your freshman class. Did he or did he not already have Tommy John surgery? Because it's almost expected that he's going to have it at some point. And you don't want him to have that TJ surgery while he's playing for you. So that's the risk of selecting pitchers in the draft, and the fact that it just seems to be a rite of passage that everybody gets a Tommy John surgery.
Was Strasburg, was he a San Diego State? Was he an Aztec? That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, if I remember, I think he took him to a College World Series, but he's barely pitched for the last 3 years.
He that San Diego State deal's so weird. You have to think they're out of the Mountain West. It's just the Big 12 or the Pac-12, and I'd go Big 12 after listening to you and Bill, and it seems like what's so desirable about the Pac-12? I just don't.
I think it's only the geography.
Yeah.
Only the geography.
And the money,
and the idea that you can be the Southern California anchor in that league.
Yeah.
But it's just got to be about the geography, because I do think that the Pac-12's media deal is going to be significantly less than even what the Big 12 has. And if you're looking, the Big 12 right now is a stable league. They just brought in 4 brand new members. It has stabilized. The Pac-12 is not stable at all. So if I was San Diego State and I'm looking at, the Mountain West apparently says we're not part of this league, you know what? We can go find a better league for us. And they can do that just by calling Brett Yormark. I would imagine those conversations might be going on as we speak. All right, we're going to wrap up hour number 2 in just a moment here on Halftime. We are brought to you by Roller Funeral Homes. You have voted them best of the best 23 consecutive years in the Democrat Gazette readership poll. Generations of family recognize the Roller difference. You know when you call on Roller, you receive all their respect. You can visit rollerfuneralhomes.com for all the information about life insurance policies, prepaid funerals, and cemetery markers. Roller Funeral Homes, with all their respect. Stay with us. Hour number 2 of Halftime concludes right after this.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Attention car shoppers. In the market for a new ride? Look no further than Road Chevrolet Van Buren, your trusted destination for great selection and unbeatable prices. We have dozens of new Chevrolets on the way, waiting to land in your driveway. Reserve yours today and don't pay 1 penny over MSRP. Have a car to sell? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your car even if you don't buy from us. Getting a hassle-free appraisal only takes a few minutes. Buying or selling a car doesn't have to be a stressful experience when you deal with the pros at Road Chevrolet Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? Yep, they do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with a flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Progressive covers pets in our auto policy at no extra charge. Now, let's see what your dog has to say.
As a dog, I think Progressive's auto pet policy is... Oh, what is that? That's just my tail. Weird. Anyway, Progressive protects... There it is again. See? This is why I need protection. I'm so distracted. Nope, that is still my tail.
Progressive Auto Insurance covers pets for up to $1,000 in a car accident at no extra charge. And we think your dog would say that's great, too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Hey, this is Mark at W&W Automotive. Let us help you beat the heat this summer with a seasonal tune-up on your car. We'll check the Freon and AC system, plus your battery, belts, hoses, and more. We offer routine maintenance to major repairs, including front-end work, alignments, and we're AC specialists. Don't simmer this summer. Drop by W&W just off Townsend Avenue on South O in Fort Smith. Or call me or Kelly at 242-1600. That's W&W, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Everybody come see the greatest show. Gather up all juggalos and roll. Everybody come see the greatest show. Gather up all juggalos and roll. Yeah! Down, diddy, down, get your ass out the way, 'cause here we come and we springing this spectacle in Indian town. We got creep shows, freak show. Most people don't like these oddities. Most people would love them a shot at these. If you think it's too good for us sideshow freaks, let me know, and I'ma whip smack your cheeks. Come on.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Happy 83rd birthday to Ringo Starr, one of the two remaining living Beatles. Still makes music, hasn't had a hit inside the top 100 since Rack My Brain reached number 38 in 1981. A couple of number one hits in the early 70s, though. Photograph in Year 16. Everybody's favorite Beatle that they love to make fun of. But he was a member of them, and he turns 83 today. I don't know anybody that said Ringo was their favorite Beatle. Do you?
I mean, Ringo knew how to He had the shades on, playing the drums. He didn't decombust like most drummers do, and he was able to stay around. So I'm Photograph. Wasn't that the song that oh, that's a good one, Matty T.
This is your 16.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, he
had the box top. Is that that's not called that's the mop top. Yeah.
His songs had a little bit of a this wouldn't be the right way to put it, but a little bit of a novelty feel to it, just because of the sound of his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't have the best voice, but he always sounded like he's smiling while he's singing. And also, who else is celebrating a birthday today? Shelley Duvall celebrating a birthday today.
And
age 74.
And Jim Gaffigan, who's he's got some funny bits out there in the comedic world.
He's the guy that always likes to kind of.
He's the hot pocket guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's funny too. So happy birthday to all three of them. Man, Shelley Duvall, she was one of the biggest stars in Hollywood for a minute there, but it's been a while.
I think she's living her best life. I do. I think she's living her best life.
She lives in some tiny little town, I think in New Mexico. I think it's not far from the Texas border.
In a yurt?
And she's I think it would be like that, in a yurt. She's an
Yeah.
artist, one of those New Mexico artists. All right, we're into the third hour of halftime in a moment. Our McClarty Daniel hotline open at 877-377-6963. The golden hour of halftime after this.
The largest used car sale ever at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Over 400 vehicles available, starting at $65.99 this weekend.
Yes, this is the biggest sale that we've ever had, Tommy. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you got to come down here and see us. We're giving away a truck on Saturday. I mean, this is the biggest event that Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford has ever had. So come down here and see us. We've got deals. We've got cars as low as $65.99. We're matching down payments up to $2,500. We've got no payments for up to 90 days, as low as 0% financing. We got bounce houses for the kids. We got free lunch, burgers and hot dogs. I mean, there's so many things going on that I can't even list them all in this ad. So come down here and see us at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford. This is the sale that you're not going to want to miss.
Over 30 banks on hand to give you the best deal. Appraisers are here to give you more for your trade this weekend, and over 400 vehicles to choose from, starting at $65.99. It's the blowout liquidation event. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, some sunshine, a chance of seeing some showers and some scattered thunderstorms are high this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. Chance of showers and scattered storms tonight, and overnight low upper 60s to low 70s. Saturday, showers, occasional thunderstorms are high temperatures on Saturday, right around 80 to 85. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Join the local conversation on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Call or text 877-377-6963.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 57 days.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Final hour of the week. We usually do 15 hours of radio here on halftime, Monday through Friday. This is just the 9th hour of the week, so it's kind of been an easy breezy 3 days for me, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Matt Travis. We've got an open segment here before Neil Atkinson from Saracen joins us in about 15 minutes. 877-377-6963 is our McClarty Daniel hotline. Make sure to visit any of the 6 locations for McClarty Daniel dealerships in Springdale or Bentonville. You can also see their entire inventory at their website, McClartyDaniel.com. Oh, you realize you're 5 weeks away from the start of the 2023 fall college athletics calendar. That's when Arkansas soccer gets things going. And then we're within 2 months before the start of Arkansas football against Western Carolina. Which team, and we do a lot of our talking about here on halftime and on ESPN Arkansas, can get back to the level of success from the 2021-2022 season? And I guess you got to also look, Matt, because it is, we always say that your season ends up being defined by what happened in the postseason, but regular season still does count for something. You know, for like the baseball team in 2022 that goes to the College World Series but didn't have the kind of regular season that they would have liked to have and had a chance to win a division championship, but struggled at the end of the regular season. A&M won the division championship. Arkansas went on the road for the postseason, ended up in Omaha. So it was one of those years to be like, yeah, it was a great year. We were in Omaha. This last year, 20 SEC wins, an SEC regular season championship, a division championship over the eventual national champions, but a flame out in the Fayetteville Regional. So you would look at that and say, yeah, well, maybe it wasn't quite as successful as the year before, even though you had more regular season wins and you had an SEC championship. But which of these teams can get back to the level of success from the year before? Men's basketball, Elite Eight down to the Sweet 16. College World Series for baseball, can they get back there this next year? Or can football get somewhere close to 9 wins after being down to 7 wins this last year? And can the women's basketball team make the NCAA tournament and advance past the first round, which hasn't happened since 2015? Now, I always trust that baseball can make it back to the College World Series. And of all the programs we talk about, that's been the most consistent postseason winner. But 3 straight Sweet 16s, the way this roster is constructed, all the experience, and a couple of talented freshmen coming in, I think men's basketball can get back to the Elite Eight. That's not to say baseball can't make the College World Series. They can. But I still wonder what the roster is going to look like. So I think the jury's out on them.
I'm excited to see this basketball team and how they start and how they finish and just the process of it, because there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of guys that have played high-level college basketball that are here. Without this transfer portal, this is not the Arkansas Razorback team. Coach Musselman, I think he's figured it out, and I'm really excited to see how far this basketball team goes. The football team, it's a good point. We had a caller brought up earlier today, Phil, that we lost 4 games by 7 points. And a lot of games are one-score games. So it goes back to what you said about the Redbirds, booting balls in the infield, getting errors, trying to get 29 outs instead of 27. If you can be more efficient, that's what you want to see. You want to see you got a veteran quarterback. You got a great stable of running backs. So you should be more efficient on third downs. You got some big-body tight ends. You got a coach that the last time he was at Arkansas loved to throw the ball to the tight ends. You got a tight end coming from North Texas that it's just going to be interesting to see how everybody pans out. But the thing is, we're going to have to be more efficient and win those one-score games, and that could be the difference in getting 9 wins or having 6 wins again. And that schedule's not easy. I mean, we're talking about that, but it's like let's look at the schedule, and you got to take it one game at a time.
That's the thing about it. It's like you don't have you got this 4-game stretch, and you never know what's going to happen with it. But I do think that the team that Coach Pittman and the staff have built up more depth on the line of scrimmage on the defensive side. I think that can pay some dividends.
Veteran quarterback, great running a game. I mean, you should be able to control a little bit of the time of possession, keep your defense off the field, have the defense be opportunistic and get turnovers and get out. And when they get down on the red zone, you got to hold them to 3 points. You got to get off the field on third down.
I think football can get back to 9 wins. It's just that 4-game stretch of going on the road.
We can go 2-2.
So daunting.
If you can go 2-2 in that 4-game stretch, you'd take it right now. You'd say whatever 2 games you want to do, whatever, we'll take them. If you could take 2-2 right now.
Go to the McClarty Daniel hotline. Jesse in Springdale is with us here. What's up, Jesse? How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I didn't really have much to talk about, but I figured you guys didn't either, so I'll just throw some random crap at you.
All right, well, we'll see if I have to duck any of the random crap that's getting thrown.
I hope you just catch me because I just threw myself at you.
I was listening to the Morning Rush on my way to work, and they were having this big discussion about who their starting 5 would be of all-time Razorback basketball players. I was just curious what y'all's take on that one would be.
You go what? Big O or Joe Klein at center. You go Corliss at the 4. You go Sidney Moncrief at the 3. Joe Johnson at the 2. I think those are no-brainers. I don't see how you could go anybody but those. And then so who's your point guard? Who you taking? Are you taking a Corey Beck? Or are you taking
Lee Mayberry?
Are you taking a Lee Mayberry? You taking Anthony Black? But I depending on your center, Oliver Miller or Joe Klein, then Corliss, Sidney, and Joe Johnson are the permanents. Those 3 guys are on your starting 5.
Yeah, I think it was kind of interchangeable for me between Corey Beck and Lee Mayberry. And I think the big O would definitely be the postman.
Well, I guess it also depends on what era. We're talking all time here.
Sidney Moncrief would be.
Not to say,
Jesse,
not
go
to
ahead.
say that, if you had those guys all together on the court in their prime, that they would gel together well. But as far as what they did as their time, in their time as a Hog, I think those would be the best for those positions.
Yeah, Lee Mayberry. I mean, Corey Beck was such a grinder on defense, man. He could D you up, and it was a different time. He'd take a charge, kind of like what Jalen Williams would do. I mean, Corey Beck was that dog down there.
Jesse, I'd imagine that just looking at the last 3 years, and part of this is also so with Joe Johnson, you got 2 years. You got 2 years to go off of. It has nothing to do with what they did in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
It's what happened at Arkansas. A player like Corliss, 4 years to go off of. The numbers on Corliss's side.
Did he have
he's
3?
always going to be in the top 5.
3 years.
I would say 3 years. You're right.
Yeah.
He's always going to be in the. It's always going to be in the. You're always going to have players that set records here that will be at the top of the list in some cases. I don't know. That's a tough one. I hadn't put that one in my mind. Wondering about it, Jesse.
Joe Johnson might be as far as a 2 guard. You're looking. I mean, even Ronnie Brewer Sr., Ronnie Brewer Jr. at your point guard. I mean, Brewer could play, and he was a defensive guy as well. Man, he could D you up.
Somebody from the last couple of years would have to make it, right? And we're just there's something about Anthony Black. you've got all this history to go back and look at what Lee Mayberry did, what Kareem Reed did. Nobody mentions Alvin Robertson, for good reason, I think, because he had a pretty checkered life after his playing career.
Patrick Beverly was a point guard at Arkansas. I don't know, if he put up the numbers, but he's still in the NBA.
This is the really difficult kind of a thing to just on the spot go with, because there's a lot of cases here.
I think you're 4. I think you're number 4. I think you're 3, and I think your 2 are set in stone. As far as I think Corliss, I think Sidney Moncrief and Joe Johnson are your 4, 3, and 2. It's who do you want as your big? Is it Oliver Miller, Joe Klein, Stephen Hill, Jalen Williams even? What kind of big are you going? And then your point guard, we've had so many good ones. It's just to say that's why it's tough, because we've had so many good point guards here at the university.
It'd be tough to go against Joe Klein in that case.
I'm telling you, right? He's an Olympian. Joe Klein. Oliver Miller had some sweet hands. Both of them were good.
That'd be a tough one. You'd really like to lay out a first, second, and third team.
You'd have a 6-man, right? You need your J.R. Smith or your Jamal Crawford. Yeah, your Manu Ginobili. You need your 6-man of the year out there somewhere.
Your J.D. Notae.
Yeah.
You would have to pull one of those off, I'm pretty sure. Well, that might be something to lay out there. Because I think a first team, you end up leaving so many names off. You got to have a second team, a third team, and maybe even go the Phil Steele route. Go with a fourth team, too.
And just had a text in, Bobby Portis could be up there on that list. And I heard he's going to be representing the country this year. Bobby Portis is got honored to represent USA.
What's the international competition?
I don't
FIBA.
Something like that. I'd have to look at it. I don't know what the rules are, but man, anytime you get a chance to represent your country, it's pretty cool, pretty special honor.
Maybe it means you get to be on the maybe next year on the Olympic team. Stay with us. We're talking with Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen after this on Halftime.
On a long, hot summer day.
Second down, the give is to Felix Jones on an end around. Jones to the 30 to 40. Jones in midfield. He may go. A 25, a 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Felix Jones goes 72 yards, and the Razorbacks increase their lead.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. Stop by Metters Lumber True Value for great bargains of the month. Get great deals on a variety of top-of-the-line products like 1 quart of Valvoline motor oil for just $5.49. Also, a 34-piece SAE metric socket set by DeWalt is just $41.99. Need a new hose reel? The Resin Wicker Hideaway Hose Reel by Suncast is just $49.99. Don't miss out. Get these bargains of the month while supplies last at Metters Lumber True Value.
Attention car shoppers. In the market for a new ride? Look no further than Road Chevrolet Van Buren, your trusted destination for great selection and unbeatable prices. We have dozens of new Chevrolets on the way waiting to land in your driveway. Reserve yours today and don't pay 1 penny over MSRP. Have a car to sell? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your car even if you don't buy from us. Getting a hassle-free appraisal only takes a few minutes. Buying or selling a car doesn't have to be a stressful experience when you deal with the pros at Road Chevrolet Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Auto Glass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Auto Glass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Auto Glass a call. 782-4441.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
I'm Rachel Ray, and I'm a realtor. You hear realtor ads every day, so what makes me different? My focus is on what's most important to me, and that's family. Anyone can sell you a house, but my goal is to sell you a home where you can make memories that last a lifetime. Check out my website at rachelraynwa.com. Connecting families with homes in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Come home with me.
Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen joining us here on Halftime. Neil, we missed you last week. Stuart filled in well. Hope you're feeling better, and I hope you had a happy birthday.
Oh, here I am. Yeah, I had a great birthday. Yeah, a little under the weather. A little summer cold is no fun. Not very good for the voice and that. But Stuart is such a key part of the Bet Saracen team, and hopefully you enjoyed him last week. He said he had a lot of fun with it also.
Good. Yeah, we enjoyed that with him, but we missed your smiling demeanor. So it's good to have you back here. Let's get into what's going on this weekend. You got a lot of baseball stuff you could go off of here. You got the draft, home run derby, all-star game as well. I would imagine the home run derby gets a lot of action, and in fact, I think that's more interesting than the game itself. Just a lot of stars are out of it, and I'd have a tough time not putting my money on Pete Alonso when it comes to the derby, but that's got to be something that attracts quite a bit of bettors.
Yeah, it does. And to me, I mean, the home run derby is my favorite part of the All-Star game. Anyway, me personally also, and because I mean, who doesn't love to see a ball flying out of the park at any time, unless it's on the team you're bet against. So, yeah. But anyway, the home run derby is going to be very, very popular. We've got our specials up. We've got the over and under. What do we put the over and under on that? I was just looking at it. It's absolutely huge on the
total home run count. You've got it 276.5 home runs.
It's like an all-star over. Yeah, NBA basketball all-star over. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's going to be fun to watch. So, Pete Alonso with the Mets. I mean, he was won a ton this twice. He was edged out a couple of years ago. This would be his third one. That one right there is remember there are no guarantees in sports betting, but that one right there is going to be hard to miss. Another one, Lewis Robert Jr., he's got 25 home runs on the year, too, with the White Sox. So he's around 450, I think, or something along that lines there. So there's some opportunities in the way the format is on that. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch as you go along. Now, one thing about the All-Star game, there will not be flash betting on the All-Star game,
Okay.
but you'll be able to bet on the outcome of the game while the game's going on. But they just don't cover those specialized markets because the All-Star game is played a little bit different tempo and a little bit different strategy there, so they're not going to do that for the All-Star
Now,
game.
you talk about the home runs and then the NBA All-Star game, the over is just ridiculous. Is the MLB All-Star game, how do you set the over-under for runs scored in that one?
Well, they have not put it out yet. They will probably wait to what the lineup is, what the mood is, and all that before they put it out. Right now, we've got the American League favored on the money line at -130, and the National League is +110. I suspect probably the day before the game, we'll probably put a over and under and a run line on that game. I haven't heard what that one's projecting to be, but it's going to be pretty high.
Now, I know on the Bet Saracen app on the specials section, you've had really for the last, I think, month or so, specials on the college football season. Teams to have an undefeated regular season, teams to over under on the number of wins. Have you found people are putting a lot of money yet on college football, or are they kind of waiting until you get closer to August? It's all a matter of when you do your research, and
right.
I find the later the research, the better I feel about things. But on the other hand, you don't want to miss what you might feel are good odds on something.
Right. Yeah, we've had a few bets on the NCAA futures. The serious bettors tend to wait closer until the season starts. But right now is the opportunity to where if you have an opinion different to where we have set the lines on the different scenarios, now is the time that you can make your move and get the better odds on it if you've done your research and come to that conclusion. Right now it's more the $1 and $2 recreational fun bets on that. And futures probably should be looked at that as a recreational because the reason there's plus 3,000, plus 4,000 odds on a lot of these teams is it's a long shot, on a lot of those. So you want to make sure you do those recreationally. And if you have a hunch and you can afford it, hey, you can get a big return on it. But I'm super excited about the amount of props that we have, not only for NCAA football, NFL, and the others, is because I'm getting a lot more closer to turning on my betting exchange to where if you have made a preseason bet on a future, instead of you having to wait until the entire season's over the end of in January on football, you can put that bet up for sale and have liquidity in it. And we get to start testing it on the web on Monday. Wow. And then maybe within about 2 or 3 weeks we'll be able to reveal that to the public. And I'm super excited about that.
There was a publication that came out and had Texas winning the Big 12. I didn't know when y'all were going to do y'all's divisions on who you got winning these divisions. And is there going to be a market to decide what conference San Diego State's going to be in next year?
Yeah, who knows on that one? That Pac-10 situation out there is kind of weird because of all the TV rights and all that other stuff. That's throwing a monkey wrench in all this conference realignment that's going on. I probably will stay about that one. But, yeah, I'm actually having a meeting with the trading, and we are going to put up all the Power 5 conferences, a lot of props involving that. Will be coming up probably around the 1st of August. And, hey, I mean, I'm looking at the calendar like you are. We're 27 days away from the Hall of Fame game, and that's sort of like the kickoff to the anticipation of all of football season when we see it on TV. Even though the Hall of Fame games is more about the inductees and there, just seeing football on the TV again, my spine starts tingling because, week 0 starts. I'm not going to say week 1. Once week 0 starts, we're in football heaven. And like I like to say, especially us in the South, we've got 2 seasons, football season and waiting on football season, and we're almost there.
We were talking a little bit about the NBA Summer League with Wembanyama, and how do you go about? Phil said you got to be a professional to handicap one of these games. How do you go about handicapping a Summer League game?
It's very, very difficult, and I know it's difficult because we're doing a terrible job at it because they're beating their brains in on it right now. Our NBA players are kind of happy right now. Right now, some of my biggest losses is on some of the Summer League games, which is fine. But one of the things is that there's some smart bettors out there because, for instance, they're allowed 10 fouls, in the game. So versus 6 in a regular game. So there's that. The periods are 4 10-minute periods, and you got to remember what the Summer League is for. It's to give the rookies exposure and other teams exposure. And coaches will experiment a lot, and we've been asked why we haven't had props on the players in the G League. I mean, not the G League, in the Summer League, and that's the reason why. But we are offering pre-match lines, and there has been live in-play betting, not flash bets, but live in-play betting on the outcome of the game for many of the Summer League games, and that's been kind of fun to see that, and people are still engaged with basketball.
Neil, I saw how much money was it that the better won on Ricky Fowler's Rocket Mortgage Classic win? Like $94,000. I saw on the Bet Saracen Twitter feed earlier this week, just on 3 bets too. That's a pretty penny for one golf tournament.
Oh yes, it is. Y'all asked me I think a couple of weeks ago who my favorite bettor was, and it was Ricky Fowler, and I said that's a double-edged sword for me because we've got one of our players that loves to bet Ricky Fowler to win the tournament and do some props on him, and I was actually glad to see this winner, this bet come in for this guy, not because he was losing a lot. I mean, this guy is an interesting character that we build a relationship with because of the way he bets. But seeing it was actually good to see him win because he had actually been on a little bit of a losing streak. Overall, he's ahead on us on the year, but that takes guts to bet $5,000 that someone's going to win a golf tournament. And when someone has got that much guts, even as a bookmaker, you like to see a guy score on that every now and then because it's just a good story. And especially if you bet him every week, you got to let him win one every now and then to keep him engaged. So that's a good thing for me too.
What about the Arkansas Razorbacks in the MLB draft? I know you had some stuff, and the MLB draft's so different than the other ones, but what do you got going on with that?
We have lines up. We've got the first overall pick, and then we've got the over and under on the draft positions of notable players. This may, I doubt it's going to be expanded very much, but the way the format of the MLB draft is, it is kind of different, and it's not my super area of expertise on the Major League Baseball draft. But yeah, we've got good content up there. The MLB draft kind of sits under the radar a little bit compared to the other drafts because it is different and it happens during the summer, but. We will always try to put the content up there, and if the feed doesn't offer it, we're going to make a special around it, especially if we can, involving former Arkansas players.
Neil, we'll leave it there, and I agree with you. I love the Major League Baseball draft, but even those who make a living on the draft, I think they would have trouble handicapping the draft too. It's so unscientific. It's really difficult to pick that thing. But we're out of time, Neil. We'll leave it there. Appreciate you. It's good to have you back on, okay?
All right, very good. And as always, sports betting is supposed to be fun and entertainment. Bet with your head and not over it.
Thanks, Neil.
Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Use it on your Apple iPhone, any Google Android phone, and any web browser, betsaracen.com. Matt Jones and Matt Travis will take you the rest of the way. I'm going to cut out. I'll be back with you guys on Monday. Guys, all my love, thank you so much.
Be safe.
Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys Monday, too. So until then, halftime's right back after this.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big Tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line podcast. Basketball and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And we're back, halftime. Myself and Matty T. Phil's taking the kids to Chicago. How cool is that? It'd be a nice little trip. If you want to get in with us today, 877-377-6963. You see where Reggie Bush was? He was on Big Fox Noon Kickoff, and I think Mark Ingram is going to replace him. So, ESPN had some layoffs and some shuffling around, and it seems like Fox is doing the same thing. National Rock and Roll Day. I was told that today, and that's one of my favorite things about radio is each day there's something, and a lot of times it's multiple. Bring your daughter to work day, peanut butter and jelly sandwich day.
Who comes up with these things?
I thought everything was based off The Office and Parks and Rec.
Like in a committee. Yeah, if I would have known it was National Rock and Roll Day, I would have played rock and roll all day.
Well, that being said, it's weird what goes into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and what's considered rock and roll these days.
Mm-hmm.
But I did see where the Eagles announced the long goodbye farewell tour, and the Eagles been touring for a while. They're considered rock and roll, right?
Oh, certainly.
Is Billie Eilish? Would she be considered rock and roll?
Billie Eilish. That's a good question.
And then
I wouldn't call that rock and roll.
See, yeah, it's
But I also wouldn't call like Run DMC rock and roll, but
right.
they're probably in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right. Paramore with Taylor Swift. That's a concert going on. Either one of them rock and roll. Paramore might be a little rock and roll. They kind of get down, I think. I always thought Taylor Swift was country music, but maybe
started
pop,
off more
right?
Country
pop.
I think she's less country now.
Would you put her in the same category as Beyonce, Katy Perry? Like, if you listen to Taylor Swift, you probably listen to Beyonce too?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife does.
Oh, right on.
She
Yeah.
got to meet Taylor Swift years ago when she came through Fort Smith and was starting out.
Did she go to a show?
She did, yeah. So she's got her picture with her from when she was early on.
I saw y'all have a good time, I'm guessing. What's your favorite? Call in today since it's Rock and Roll Day, 877-377-6963. What's your favorite rock show you've been to? I've seen the Counting Crows. They're kind of folk rock a little bit, but they
we've both seen Counting Crows. I think we went at the same time they were, because I saw him in Tunica, but it's like he was had a crutch.
Was it Michael Frusciante and the Spearhead Gang was opening
they were
for him?
supposed to open for him, and they weren't there that night, but he told us how great it would have been if they were there.
Yeah.
One thing is it Adam Durst? Is that
Adam
his name?
Durst? Yeah.
He has a tendency to like change the songs up. So basically, at the time, I knew a couple of songs.
Yeah.
One of them was Mr. Jones.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, Mr. Jones is coming. It's like, it's almost unrecognizable from the original. And like, it's funny, like some girls in front of us trying to sing along to it, but they couldn't figure out like how to, like what the.
Are you a fan of that? Because I've noticed that about Counting Crows. If you get a live album and into the studio, they're almost not the same.
I don't mind,
but the words are different too. Is what I'm saying.
I don't mind if I seek it out.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for something like that. I don't want to go to the show and have it some version, especially when I'm a casual fan and we spent the whole drive there, me and my dad listening.
You're listening to it, obviously.
Yeah, and then it comes on and it sounds like something. And it's like it's like, God, I didn't know the song could sound so depressing.
We had so I went and saw you played a Silverchair song earlier in one of the comebacks, and I got to see them in New York a couple of times, L.A. a couple of times, in Atlanta. We would listen to their CD, and then when you would go back, when you've seen "I Love You, Man," where they go and watch the Rush concert,
yes.
and then she's like, "Get off the phone." He's like, "We're talking about the set list," It's so you'd remember you'd play all the songs back in the order that he played them, and then who did he cover? What other albums did they play songs off? And that's back when you had CD players and you'd go on the road trips.
I'd say probably the best rock and roll show. I mean, I've seen some good stuff. I've seen Greg Allman.
Oh,
It's
nice.
But I'd go to these shows not really knowing who the person was. Like, I went and saw J.D. Souther, and he wrote some songs for the Eagles. But I think the best actual show I've seen, went to Shreveport and saw the Foo Fighters when Taylor Hawkins, the drummer, was in. And to me, that was the best show. Metallica, I wasn't not a big Metallica fan, but I saw them in Little Rock.
Yeah.
Their production was amazing. They had one song they did. They had drones come out that like flew in the stadium in formation. So I'd say probably Foo Fighters, Metallica, two best actual shows.
There was, I went to we were 22, 24, somewhere around this age, me and one of my buddies, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers were coming through. I think it might have been their Stadium Arcadium album. And but they were coming through Nashville, and so we decided we would go eat at Chili's and then go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Man, that sounds like a wild night. Chili's before the Red Hot Chili's.
I mean, living large, man. That was a fun show. Also went to my first hockey game that time. The Mars Volta I saw in Memphis, and it was pretty cool because it was it wasn't that arc. It wasn't like it was more intimate, There was 600 people there, not.
So we saw Billy Corgan. Or did we go to that one?
We went to Smashing Pumpkins.
I can't remember if that was. I went to one where it was more stripped down. Can't remember if it was that.
No, we went.
Yeah, so I had seen him one time when it was a more. But in Little Rock they were calling it the theater at. It was Verizon Arena.
Yeah,
but they'd have half the place cut off and you're sitting closer. But let's see. Alan Fort Smith says AC/DC in Little Rock in 2000. I would love to see AC/DC.
I was going to tell you, I couldn't really. Is it Back in Black? Is that the AC? I've never really listened to AC/DC.
I mean, that's one of them.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
you probably recognize more than you.
AC/DC, Metallica. I've never really listened to.
One thing about
bands.
AC/DC, I love them, but the reason I don't play them on the show is because that's one of the bands that tends to get us blocked on YouTube.
Probably
so
Prince
if anybody's
as well.
ever wondering why I don't play. AC, let's see. Jason from Mountain Home said Fuel and Three Doors Down were really good last summer. Every song was just like the radio, and I've seen both of them before, but it's probably been 10 years or more.
Fuel had that Shimmer song.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then remember, Three Doors Down, the year
Superman
for a year or so. Yeah, they had.
That's high school days. Yeah.
I would say they're probably the same time frame as like Nickelback, but you didn't get like hated on for liking Three Doors Down the way Nickelback for some reason. People just.
You had Everclear. That would have been a band back then. That man, yeah. We got to get to some shows.
Here's a good one from Skylar. Best concert: Frampton Comes Alive 35 tour on Mud Island. Also Van Halen at BOK with Eddie, Alex, Wolfgang, and David Lee Roth was a close second for me.
Van Halen. See, I put them in Metallica and AC/DC. So I've never really listened to them.
You don't really then have a preference for Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth?
I'm
a David Lee Roth guy.
All I know is it's take off my favorite T-shirt before you do something crazy and the band breaks up.
Wedding Singer.
My favorite. Yeah.
Let's see here. We got another one. Plantain Page. How are Union Arena? I'm not sure if that came out right. Bill Qualls, Ozzy, Motorhead, and Alice in Chains are his.
Alice in Chains, yeah. Stone Temple Pilots would be a band I'd want to see, but Scott Weiland's, no longer with us.
But they still like some of those Smashing Pumpkins. In fact, Smashing Pumpkins are going to be in Northwest Arkansas, but some of those dates it's Stone Temple Pilots, but yeah, it's a different. I'd hate to go to a show and not realize that until you get there. I remember I told you this months ago. It was Smash Mouth.
Yeah,
was across the border
Walking
here
on
at
the
one of
sun.
the casinos, and they didn't really promote though that it wasn't that the guy had been like fired from the band like a month before because he got drunk on stage and was trying to fight people in the audience. So there's a lot of people I think showed up and you're like, this doesn't sound or look like the same guy.
Well, it is rock and roll day, and rock stars to be rock stars. Britney Spears making the news for rock star type of things.
I thought this was really interesting too. So she was in a restaurant, and she went up and
her story was so she saw Wemby, the number one overall pick.
This is her side of the story.
This is her side of the story. She saw him while she was out and about, and then she goes to another establishment and sees him again. And so she's like, well, I've seen him a couple of times, so might as well go introduce myself and say, hey, man, I like your work, whatever recognized game things do. And so she was trying to, approach and didn't go about it the right way. Because I thought if you're Britney Spears and you're Wemby, because it's one of his people that smacked her, and you're thinking, why wouldn't you just have your people go up and talk to his people instead of being that way? She's got
her own security people too. Have your security guy go talk to his security.
That's why it just seemed a little weird. But she's a rock star, right?
I don't like to call people weird, but maybe she has a tendency. She's been perceived as kind of weird in the past.
She might lack awareness sometimes.
She may lack awareness. That's a real good way to put it. And we do have Greg from Farmington.
Oh, what's up, Greg?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, when you really want, if you had to choose between Brittany and Christina, I'm taking Christina 24/7.
Oh, all day long. I mean, before I was married, I would say something like that. Not now.
Well, yeah,
neither of them do nothing. They don't do anything for me.
Yeah, I mean, Christina, she's.
Dude, I had a Christina Aguilera poster on
Genie
the back,
in a bottle,
on the back
right?
of my bedroom door until I was about 22 years old.
I mean, she doesn't sound like a robot. I mean, you listen to Britney, auto-tone, all the death, and it just kills it. Best concert that I've been to, Phil Collins, 85, Reunion Arena, Dallas, Texas. Journey at the Hard Rock Casino.
Was it Journey
with
with the new guy?
Yeah, it was with Darnell.
He sounds maybe even better, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's literally been songs that they've been able to splice in Steve Perry. Can't tell the difference.
That's pretty good.
And then here local, I saw Styx at the Amp, and that was a good concert.
Styx, I bet they put on a good show, huh? They still hit the high notes.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean, the guys still know how to rock it. You've been talking about you were talking about the ball teams again, and I think if we didn't have all the injury issues, the baseball team might have done better. So I'm not laying nothing against baseball. I definitely think, and the same with basketball. If we didn't have that stretch of stuff going on there in the middle, I think we would have done better. And as far as football, definitely under Coach Enos, because he is the quarterback guru. I think KJ is going to explode, and I think you're going to see some stuff out of our offense you hadn't seen in a while. So, I just wanted to hit on those topics today. Matt, get on the golf course. I got my club in the trunk.
I like it. I like it.
As soon as I get done at work in an hour and 10 minutes, that's where I'm heading.
Nice. We'll hit them good.
Everybody have a good weekend.
Yes, and
thanks. You too.
Yeah, thanks for the call. He brings up a good point about the basketball team, because what the basketball team's not going to have to do this year is grow up. They already got a lot of experience. A lot of guys have already played meaningful minutes of college basketball. So there will be some gelling and some cohesiveness and coming together, but they're not going to have to grow up much. You mature and you get a little better, but they all have a little experience. All right, we got one more segment left here on halftime. Phil is headed to Chicago. How cool, man! Talk about a foodie city, man. Getting to go to Chicago. They'll have a good time. If you want to get in on this last segment, 877-377-6963.
On the McClarty Daniel hotline.
McClarty Daniel hotline.
You by my side with my superhuman might, kryptonite.
It's the biggest weekend ever at Harry Robinson's Saddle Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 at
Line.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football?
It's a big job getting by with 9 kids and a wife. Yeah, but I've been a working man dang near all my life, and I keep on working. Long as my 2 hands are fit to use. I might drink my beer this evening and sing a little bit of these working man blues.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Back halftime, myself and Matty T. We got a couple phone calls here in the last segment. Let's go to the phones.
Mike in Fayetteville, you're on the air.
Yeah, I sent it a text, but I'm not sure I sent it to the right place. I attended a concert in Little Rock. Aerosmith was the main group, and Bob Seger was the warm-up group.
Wow, Bob Seger had to open?
Yeah.
See, I would have thought Bob Seger would have been the headliner. But...
Not
Sounds
then.
like. What year was that?
Oh, hell. About 1975.
Was it in Barton Coliseum?
Yep.
I think one of the last shows I saw there was either Three Doors Down or Kid Rock. I saw at Barton Coliseum when they were still having. I remember they had all that like stuff on the ceiling that looked like asbestos.
That nobody can believe that Bob Seger was the warm-up group.
Nope.
That's why I called in.
That's awesome, man. Thanks, Mike.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Let's see if we can get Woods. Woods, we only got about 30 seconds here.
All right, I was just going to say I've never been to a big budget concert, but I've been to 3 Afro Man concerts at Dave's on Dixon.
He came through. He came through when I was in college. Yeah, you're right.
And I thought I met my future wife all 3 times there, but didn't work out. But hell of a lot of fun. So
that's
yeah,
funny.
those were good times.
Thanks, Woods.
All right, have a good weekend.
Man, yeah, you too. It was a good week, short week. Weekend's back here, and
I thought today was Wednesday.
Man, I'm telling you, it's a good little Friday. So weekend plans. I'm not doing much. Try to just stay out of the heat.
Go catch a movie. I'd recommend if you haven't seen No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence, go check that movie.
Be down with that. I did like Asteroid City. I know. I don't know if everybody, but I thought
it's unique.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back on Monday.